Well, Simon, Reading City, top of the league. How does that feel?
Surreal. Very
Surreal?
surreal, yeah.
That's not a football manager word.
No, it feels great, and obviously we'll enjoy it while we're up there, and we'll keep trying to get as many points on the board to keep us up there. So
That sounds a very traditional manager answer, that one. So, come on, what's the secret then? How have you turned them around?
I don't know. I think it's down to the fact that we've had a core group of players now for 4 years. And there's a few boys in there that are now getting to the age of 27, 28, so they're in their primes, that have really kicked on this year. We've brought in 5 or 6 in the summer that are good lads with good experience, have played at clubs like Binfield and got to FA Vars finals.
Oh yeah, the Wembley experts.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So we've picked up a couple of those, and that experience has been brilliant. But the main thing is that we just got in good people. There's not one ego in the dressing room. Everyone's pulling in the right direction. And actually, it's probably been the easiest time I've had as a manager because it almost looks after itself. The players go and organise team meals. They go and I don't really have to do anything. It's sort of...
Does that not worry you a bit that if your chairman sort of works out that they're doing it all, you might get the dreaded vote of confidence?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but no, he's actually been really good because I think at this level, a lot of managers stay for a year or stay for less than a year and then aren't achieving what they should be and get moved on. But Martin has really believed in me. I think I was 24 when I first got the job, and he's just believed in me. And year we're slowly building and building. I think the first year I got the job in was about 4 years ago, coming up. But we stayed in the league on a technicality because the team dropped out, so we just avoided relegation. The year afterwards, we got to sort of the lower mid-table. After that was the COVID year, and we were sat third when it got postponed.
Yeah.
But then we obviously got moved to the new league, which was a baptism of fire because it was completely different styles of play. We were going to London rather than the West Country, and we just slowly had to keep building it. And credit to Martin, he's kept me in the job, and hopefully it's paying dividends for him.
It's unusual, isn't it? Managers tend to move on very quickly these days, and you must be one of the youngest managers in the country, aren't you? Not many under 30.
I think I used to be. I used to really used to relish in that, but I don't feel as young anymore. I think the job's aged me a bit as well. But
don't tell me the pressure's getting.
I've got a few more grey hairs sprouting through from when I first started.
Not from where I'm sitting. This is what a grey hair looks like. I'm so glad this isn't on video. So, talk us through the game on Saturday, because you tough first half by the sounds of things.
Yeah, I mean, Burnham turned up. We'd done our homework on them. They actually play on a 4G at their home pitch, and they've got a young group of lads. And again, they were similar to us. They were sort of in and around us last year, but they've recruited well. They've got a bit of money behind them. They've got some good lads in there. So they turned up, and we knew they'd come and try and play. And I think we just spoke about making sure that we don't allow them to play, and we're saying you'll come into our house to play football, so we need to make sure that the onus is on us. We didn't talk too much about them. We more talked about how we were going to input ourselves on the game, how we were going to put them on the back foot. And I think for half an hour, we were much the better side without scoring. And then they had a spell of 15 minutes where they really started to get the ball down and move it really well. So we made
despite the mud.
Yeah, despite the mud, they actually did very well on it because it was a heavy pitch. And then at half time, we just made a couple of tweaks tactically, and we got the first goal. And I think we said at half time as well that whoever gets the first goal is probably going to go on to win it. And we seem to have a knack at the minute. When we score one, we then go and score two. When we score two, we then go and score three. And there's a real belief. And we got 2 from set pieces, which sort of killed the game, and then conceded in the 93rd minute from a penalty, which was frustrating.
That's not like you, is it? Because
no.
As far as I can remember, you've 0-0 Spelthorne, 4-0 Harefield.
Yeah.
See if I've remembered this rightly. 5-0 was Windsor.
Yeah.
That was away. 3-0 Virginia Water away.
Yeah. And then we were 3-0 up on Saturday, and we were thinking, we've cracked it. But we also conceded. We didn't concede in the second half at Hilltop either, so we were sort of 5.5 games down, thinking we're not conceding again. But it was a penalty. I think it was a penalty as well from where I was stood. So
well, it was right at the end of the game. So
it didn't matter, but it took a bit of the success out of it. But
Well, yeah, but you were going to concede at some point anyway.
Yeah.
You better do it when.
which is actually what my assistant manager said to me. So we had to concede at some point, and he's normally the one that gets the hump when we concede.
So when you say we made some tweaks, do you mean you made some tweaks?
No, my assistant manager Michael Butcher is tactically unbelievable. He's more the tactician. I'm more the people person,
Okay.
and try and find what gets people ticking. Tactically, I'm still okay. I'm still alright. I'm not going to put myself down too much. But we sort of discussed it during the first half about what we could do, and then just went through it with them at half time.
And you knew that if you won, you'd go top of the league, didn't you?
Yeah,
So basically, that third goal goes in, you know you're top of the league.
yeah,
So, yeah, you could let yourselves off for that, really.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Now, of course, we should have had this chat on Saturday, straight after the game. We couldn't do that because something rather special was going on.
yeah. One of our lads, Leighton, was proposing to his girlfriend, and
I think you have to name her as well, otherwise it looks a bit
that
one-sided.
is true. Leighton was proposing to his lovely girlfriend Gabby.
Congratulations to them both.
And luckily she did say yes, yeah.
We announced that on my colleague's show.
And yeah, he sort of said a couple of weeks back that he wanted the squad to be a part of the proposal and the club to be part of it. He wants to do it on a match day, which is quite special. And I think that sort of shows the togetherness of our group at the minute.
Doesn't it? Yes.
That it's because that's never happened since, well, I don't think there's been many proposals since I've been here, but that's sort of above and beyond what you'd expect a player to ask of the rest of the group.
I'm just thinking, if it was Ronaldo at Man United, would anybody
No,
have turned up?
nobody would have turned up at the minute, would they? Definitely not.
That's a lovely idea, and yeah, thank you for making us aware of it, because we don't, on a sports show we don't get too many.
Yeah, you don't
get them on the request shows.
We like to get firsts out here.
It's brilliant idea, and congratulations to them both. And speaking as someone who's a relationship counsellor by profession, it's nice to hear about relationships at that end rather than the other end, which is what I tend to deal with. So, lovely idea. So, okay, so. Looking ahead, you've got your bogey team on this Saturday.
Yeah.
Because this interview will probably going out just before we broadcast the Thatcham game. So, what's the problem with Woking and Membrook?
I think it comes down to the fact it's a derby as well.
It is, isn't it? You couldn't get much more local, could you?
No, you couldn't. I think it's actually closer to my house than it is. But it's number one. It's a derby. We've sort of played each other for years. When we were Heimer or Ibis, we used to play them as well, and they were always sort of a league below us, and even then they'd still beat us in cups 1-0 and 2-1, and you think, what is this about? But last year we lost 3-2 at home to a last minute goal. At their place we drew 2-2, and I don't know what it is, but hopefully that will change Saturday, because we are in form, and hopefully that'll be a difference. But like they say in derbies, form goes out the window, doesn't it?
We can do. I mean, they've not had a great start to the season, have they? Really?
They haven't. But I know Matty, their manager. He used to be the Sandhurst manager earlier in the season. I know him really well, and he's starting to do a really good job and getting his sorts of players in. They had a good result last weekend. They had a great result against London Lions a few weeks ago as well. They drew 0-0, so it won't be a walk in the park, and it'll be a very, very tough fixture, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not really what you want to hear, that they're getting a bit of form just before they come to play.
I'd rather have played them a few weeks ago when they were getting beaten every week. But
yeah, we covered. We had the Reading Today's reporter down at their ground when they lost to Ascot, who of course your big challengers, aren't they?
They are,
at the moment. Although you're ahead of Ascot because they played Cup last week, didn't they?
They played and they had a good win in the Vars, yeah. So they've got a game in hand on us, so they win that, they'll go top by a point.
But we're covering your game here on the 3rd of December, where you take on Chalfont St Peter, and then a few days after that,
it's the big one.
It's the top of the table clash, isn't it?
We've also got Flackwell before that as well. I think if we remain unbeaten until the Ascot game, then it will be huge. It will be absolutely massive.
Now, I know I asked you this off air, but I'm going to ask you again. Were you expecting this to be the season that it's turning out to be?
Not at all, no. I wasn't expecting us to be at the very top of the tree. I'd sort of hoping we'd be in and around the top 6, top 5, but not at the top of the tree at this stage.
So what is it, do you think, that's made the lads perform to this level?
I think we've gone through the group forming stages really quickly, and there hasn't really been a stage where there's been arguments between players. They've just gelled so quickly, and where they're all good people, they just want to go in the right direction. They want to train well. They're all at training. There's never any issues of, I can't make it this week. Everyone's at training. We get 20 players every week.
How often do you train?
We train once a week on a Thursday, because we normally have games on a Saturday, Tuesday. If we don't have a game on a Tuesday, then, like I said, to your fair as well, the boys are starting to organise their own things. They've done circuits next door. I joined in a couple, which I didn't enjoy, but
who does?
Yeah, exactly. But they organise team meals, and like I said, the group sort of looked after itself for a minute, and I think that naturally breeds success when you have that togetherness with a group.
So it's very much a team feel.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the pitch or off the pitch.
Yeah. There's no standout superstars. There's nobody with an ego. Everyone just enjoys each other's company and wants to be together as much as they can.
And you've had your challenges as a club, haven't you? With unwelcome guests popping in and helping themselves to things that weren't theirs. You took me in the changing rooms before we started the interview. You don't have any running water in the changing rooms because somebody walked off with your pipes. Is that right?
They did, which is very frustrating. And where it's sort of a community club based on volunteers, it's not something that you can fix overnight, and it's just relying on people with materials, people who want to give up their own time to come and do it sort of free of charge almost. It's a long process and it's very frustrating, but we've just got to keep ticking on.
Could that be the secret with putting the opposition off?
Yeah. When they turn up and they've got to go walk a million miles to have a shower,
Well, if you wouldn't remember the old days of Prospect Park when people got changed in the mansion house. It was very lucky if any water ran in that. It was a very strange environment in there. Now it's a lovely restaurant, of course, but that was long before you were born. But
that could be part of the success. Could be character building. That's what I call it.
Well,
when the bibs are still wet at training, they can play. No, it's character building. It's fun. No showers, character building.
Definitely. Well, it's working. So
exactly, yeah.
Don't bother putting the showers back.
No, leave the pipes out.
Yeah, there's always somewhere you can get a shower, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, looking forward, we've got no professional football, top league football over the next few weeks. So, people who need their football fix, this is the best place to come in Reading, isn't it?
100%. I think the biggest selling point is that we've got a great group really together, and I think people will come and enjoy that.
Yep.
And secondly, you can actually have a drink while watching the game, not like at the professional games. You have to neck it at half time and then get back out. You can come and enjoy it pitch side with a pint and have a chat with your mates and hopefully watch some half decent football.
Oh, it'll be more than half decent. And if you hold a Reading season ticket, you're getting free all the time,
all year round.
And
I think we do that so that obviously when less people leave Reading to go to the away games like Hull last weekend, then you can still come and watch football on your doorstep.
Okay, so we'll broadcast that for you. And for the 3rd of December game, NHS staff, if they bring their badge, they're getting in free, I gather. And people who bring a copy of the Reading Today newspaper. They're getting £1 off. You can do that if they mention Hospital Radio.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should get that sorted, shouldn't we?
That's really kind of you. Simon, thank you so much for your time today.
No problem.
We'll look forward to being here on the 3rd, and the very best of luck on Saturday. And let's hope you break the jinx.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Take care.
Cheers, Maurice.